You have so much money now. A good friend would help their best friend out if they really cared. And besides, it wouldn't even be a drop of your cash.
I want to feel like it's raining on me, okay?
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're diving into r/LegbeardStories. Oh, hooray. It's been quite a while. I've been avoiding it like the plague. Speaking of which, I did have the plague. It's kind of coming off mostly now. Feeling a little bit better. But how can we make ourselves feel worse? We'll jump into Unfortunate Nookie. Hooray! No, it's not actually going to be that bad. I've been told that the next two parts are pretty light, all things considered, because they don't feature any Naruto headband, which I guess makes it slightly better. Unfortunate Nookie herself is still really frustrating if you think about it for too long. It's basically being given a choice of whether you'd rather be kicked in the shin or, I don't know, stomped on the neck or something like that. It's not pleasant either way, but I guess I'm gonna choose the kick in the shin because it doesn't affect any of my vital life processes like breathing and the like. Maybe that's a terrible example. I don't really know. But what I do know is that we're going to get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive into some of this LegbeardStories cringe. Unfortunate Nookie Part 22, Erasing OP. But first, give me that inheritance. I need it more than you. What is that? That's not how inheritance works. They wrote my name on the paper. Now they're dead. I get the money because my name's on the paper. Is your name on the paper? Your name's not on the paper. You're SOL. Sorry. Hello, morbidly curious. Whoa. Hi, Greenie. It's not morbidly curious. It's just me. Oh, because I am morbidly curious. I see what you're doing there. I'm glad I'm back to myself. I'm like riffing, you know, talking all kinds of shit that doesn't need to be talked. We're back to normal. So, not safe for work warnings, of course. Leg and neckbeard stories are gross, and this story is no exception. You have been warned. Shit gets ridiculous and heavy in this saga, and ridiculously heavy even. So feel free to nope out whenever you need to. No shame in that, as we've said before. Are you new to this saga? I recommend checking out the Unfortunate Nookie playlist by ReddX here. Hey, last part before that one was here, next part's here. Also, my buddy Brute has had her own Nookie recollections, and that's over in Brute's post history, which I think is about 5 parts. We'll get to that once we wrap up Greenie's version of events. And I don't know if they're going to go into like their own compilation or into the greater overall Unfortunate Nookie compilation. It remains to be seen. We'll see where I can slot it, I guess. The cast, of course. We've got Unfortunate Nookie, our specimen, Legbeard extraordinaire. About on the same level as OP as an artist, and has earned everything that she's gotten, which is exactly why she uses OP's name to beg for freebies. Also, she could see ghosts now. Not that anyone cares. Huh. On top of having always been depressed and bisexual, and a Wiccan cat girl, and a vampire, and an anxious pansexual otaku, polyamorous, agoraphobic, BDSM submissive, a gamer girl, jailbait, teehee, an artist, has a heart condition but also didn't, etc. That is such a laundry list. But she's totally not attention seeking, okay? We've been through this, guys. Come on. Also, definitely she was never interested in having babies, even though that's what the first, like, 10 parts of this entire series focused on. Oh, God. She is the gaslightingest gaslighter. I can't believe she does a Hindenburg all over the place. You're so full of your own hot air that, like, how are you not pushing up into the stratosphere at this very moment? She's frustrating, to say the least. Greenie is ROP, screaming internally with a customer service smile plastered on her face. Fully don't dead, open inside. Yep, that's a reference to something, alright. It's also a pretty good subreddit for poorly made signs. I don't know if I could do anything with that if we visit it. Maybe I'll just do it for funsies, like just for the patrons or something like that. Naruto headband doesn't do anything in this part. Well, thank God for that. Bear is Unfortunate Nookie's boyfriend. He got bamboozled into dating her, and it was a trap. Tall, chill dude who did martial arts and beep boop electronic video game music. What a quirky fellow. I gave up on making any kind of electronic music once I heard Anamanaguchi. I'm like, bro, never gonna be able to compete with that. Forget about it. Throw in the towel. We got Mimic, that's OP's friend with the same first name, studying to be a seamstress like Brute and Unfortunate Nookie had done. Short, dark skin, curly black hair, a bit round, wore glasses, also a motor mouth, and kinda goes on again, off again as far as being friends with OP. One of those, like, what do you call them, like proto-antagonist or something like that? Like, they're the bad guy, you don't want to cheer for them, but they're not the bad guy all the time. They're not as bad as the other bad guys, the beards in the story. We got Fabulous Peacock, of course, friend to Unfortunate Nookie, and then to OP. Nookie sexually assaulted Peacock and tried to force Peacock to date her, and she was summarily rejected. For good reason, obviously. What was the forcing of the assaulting? Did I skip over that part? Maybe I just blocked it out of my memory. I'm repressing memories from the Unfortunate Nookie saga myself. Thank you, Brain. You've done me a great favor today. Here's the list of Unfortunate Nookie survivors. First Love, 3 times. Baldy, Vegan, Naruto Headband, Vamp, Bear, twice. Brit, Emo, Fabulous Peacock, Security Guard, Kendo, Belgian, Curly, 3 times. Fetish Girl 1 and 2, and BDSM Lawyer. It's quite a body count, which I guess isn't necessarily a bad thing, but mostly I just feel bad for all these people that they didn't know what they were getting into while dating Unfortunate Nookie. They're like, I could totally fix her. No, you can't. But oh boy, now is the time. Y'all better get yourselves ready because the train wreck only continues. Where last we left off, drawing with Unfortunate Nookie was no fun. Also, my birthday was depressing as hell. Also, ghosts and stuff. It was pretty awkward. OP and Unfortunate Nookie were streaming together. They were broadcasting Cringe for free over on Twitch, and I missed out. I was supposed to be like on top of this and be like, oh, this is going in my Cringe compilation. But I missed it. Anyways, when I got my inheritance, because Greenie's mom passed away, remember? Unfortunate Nookie was immediately interested. She lived in my home and I had no privacy whatsoever. Ugh. Like a dog that smells you cooking hot dogs or something. Just pop up out of the cracks behind the couch. She's like, hey, what you got there? Fuck off. Nothing for you is what I have. She wanted me to pay for her boyfriend Bear's plane tickets from the US to our European country. Unfortunate Nookie.
You have so much money now. A good friend would help their best friend out if they really cared. And besides, it wouldn't even be a drop of your cash.
I want to feel like it's raining on me, okay?
Yeah, paying to bring your boyfriend over here? What's my return on investment for that? Oh, nothing? Okay, get out of my freaking face. Like, you understand that people who have money ain't gonna have it for very long if they let other people suck them dry. So yes, say no. And I guess by suck them dry, I don't mean ladies of the night. Some people will want to spend your cash on that. Unfortunate Nookie would probably do it for free if you flash a little cash. Oh man, I'm being too mean. Hang on to your money, that's all I'm saying. There's no need for all that. And of course, OP does the right thing and refuses. Unfortunately, started berating me for being
Such a crappy friend who doesn't ever do anything for her sake.
and she tried to argue
How small of an effort this would be.
while sitting in my apartment rent-free, eating my food, using my electricity and internet, hanging out in my streams, getting my followers. Bro, she is drinking up your entire life force. I'm so glad you put your foot down about this. Do not let this freaking beard squander what your mother has left for you. This money is so that Greenie can have a future, not so Bear can come fly over to Europe and play house with some broken degenerate. Which seems like a harsh way to put it, but that is how I feel in my deepest heart of hearts. I actually stayed strong, and I told her, no. Again, so proud of you. My inheritance, my money. But I promised to help her collect money for the plane tickets and campaigned online to find her some commissions. Yeah, commissions that she'd never complete. We've seen this whole song and dance before. I don't know why you're jumping back into it. She told me her convoluted plan to make money fast and get Bear over here.
She was already losing her mind without him after a few months apart.
The plan included drawing more art for money than she had in the past 5 years total. By the way, she still hadn't started or finished the commissions for Fabulous Peacock during this scheme. Peacock had been waiting for 3 years. Yeah, whatever, okay? Guess you get the money up front and just change your name or something. Jesus. Sell clothes, sell her manga, not eat to save money, beg from family for money for different things, and then use them all for Bears tickets instead. Well, it seems like she's saving a heck of a lot of money by leeching everything off of OP, isn't she? I don't have to not eat to save money. I just have to not eat my food. I don't have to live on the street. I just have to live in your house and not pay rent. Wow, I don't have to pay for anything, actually. How is the money not stacking up? Oh, because I'm not a responsible or functional human being. Well, okay. Well, we'll get back on that commission grind. And then never deliver on those either. Oh, I feel so bad for anybody that actually gave this woman money. Whew. Mimic came over for a quick bout, and unfortunately told her plan to get the money, again, in front of Mimic, to me, which she had just done 15 minutes ago when Mimic wasn't there. Yeah, but she wants to feel like she came up with the idea. She's like fronting for Mimic, I guess. OP, you told me this just now. Why not tell it to Mimic if you want her to know your plans? Unfortunately, had a forced smile plastered on her face and didn't respond. Mimic was looking at me and her, confused. I looked back at Mimic, also confused. Unfortunately, then finished her plan in rapid-fire succession to me and not Mimic, as if to spew it quickly before I asked any more embarrassing questions from her. It was fucking weird, to say the least. And I don't know even now if I understand it 100%, but after Mimic left, she berated me for embarrassing her. Because, I don't know, Nookie, it's exactly the reason that I stated. She wanted to feel like she's leading the charge on this. And sometimes people need to do that to keep their egos intact, you know? Somebody in the comments was like, hey, ReddX, you should make playlists for this and that. And I was like, nah, that's a terrible idea. But a good idea, what if I made playlists for this and that? Yeah. And everybody's like, hey, that's a great idea, ReddX. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I came up with it myself from the comment section. It's a terrible example, but yeah, that's essentially what is happening here. And we've got more from the mouth of the beard, I guess, from the Skype archives. Unfortunately.
Sigh.
OP? Huh? I like how OP can't even muster anything more than a question mark. Just like, oh, here it comes. I don't want to ask what's bothering you. I just send a question mark. This is all I have the energy for. Unfortunately.
Just feeling like crap. And on top of that, I feel fat. I'm just so done with everything. To a point that I want to curl up into a ball and sleep until December.
Yeah, that would be the easiest for everybody else too, wouldn't it? Oh yeah, unfortunately still here. She's just sleeping in the corner, hibernating. Then you don't even have to feed her anymore. Then you could probably even like scoop her up like a sick whippet and just dump her outside somewhere. It's time for you to find your own way home, unfortunately.
I just hate everything right now. I'm not really in a state to deal with more bullshit. I'm just really tired.
Hibernate.
And also the constant, it's not such a big deal that you have to wait another 9 months. Easy to say when they're not in the same situation. Yes, I know it's not something that will kill us or whatever, but it still would be so much freaking easier to put up with if we got just a little bit of time together. It's already been 6 months since we last saw each other. Sadly, pretty words don't make it any easier. I'm not saying either one of us is giving up. I'm just so sick of nothing ever going right.
Really what you need to do here, OP, is just create a TLDR. TLDR, Nookie's miserable because she's the only one that's ever been in a long-distance relationship in the history of the world. She's in turmoil because her pee-pee itches or some crap like that, you know? That's what this is all about, isn't it? Unfortunately continues,
what the hell have we done to have the universe hate us so much? Something always goes wrong.
OP, something always goes wrong for everyone. It's not just you and him. Don't give up. The in-between is hard, I know, but you are slowly getting closer and closer to the point that you will be together again. At least if she has the fortitude, the gumption to stick it out, which after 30 parts, I know that she doesn't. The wheels are going to fall off in no time flat. And I'd like to say that I feel bad for Nookie, but that would be a lie. Really, I feel good for Bear for getting away from her. Unfortunately.
Oh, I hate everything.
Yep, she does, herself included, especially herself, probably more than anything else. But she's got her reasons. I can't say that I disagree with her at this point. We really do need more, like, background on Unfortunately. We did get a glimpse at her childhood, but it was nowhere near enough to explain why her entire will is just made of wet spaghetti noodles. You know, she can't stick to anything. She's never willing to chase what she wants. She just wants it to get dropped in her lap. And if that's how you look at life, it's gonna be really hard for you. You need to be willing to chase things. Of course, Greenie fights on against all odds, continuing to try and encourage Unfortunately. It's no good. She's just complaining to hear herself complain at this point. Bear jumps in and says, I remember when she was staying with you. She kept constantly causing problems. Like when she let my dogs loose while I was at work, as I mentioned in part number 4. Hey, thanks for the godly rendition, ReddX. God, part number 4, that was so long ago. I hardly remember that. But yes, the beauty of YouTube is we can all go back and listen to it if you were so inclined. It's in the playlist. And none of those things were ever her fault. And I told her that, well, OP's letting you stay there and you have no better options. Why are you not behaving like a saint? Which should have been red flag number 100,000, but here we are, I guess. It's because she feels entitled to everything, including other people's things, including other people's inheritance. Are you kidding me, dude? Unfortunately, did finally manage to buy Bear tickets to fly over, but the problem was she bought the tickets without getting the go-ahead from Bear. How stupid can you be, bro? That's like a basic discussion, is it not? Bear's passport had expired. Oh, what a series of unfortunate events. Despite scrambling, Bear never made it in time to buy a passport to fly over. That's so funny. Unfortunately, was bitter for years about Bear wasting all of her money. Because this was obviously all Bear's fault. She had done nothing wrong in this one-sided decision to grab some last-minute discounted flights without even consulting the person who was supposed to fly with said tickets. You think you just run it by him like, hey, how's your passport looking? I got the money. Maybe I'm going to buy the tickets sometime soon if I can find a good discount. And he'll be like, no, passport's expired. Don't do it. Oh, good. Now I just saved hundreds of dollars, probably even $1,000 or so. Now that we're in the end times, the plague times, it would be like, what, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, but I don't think Nookie's ever gonna save up that kind of money in her life. I guess my biggest question is just like, how? How did she ever expect that to work out? Like, he's just gonna drop everything and be like, oh, okay. You got the tickets? I gotta be at the airport tomorrow? I'm there. I literally had nothing going on in my life. I was just waiting for you to buy tickets for me. Ugh. She doesn't see other people as people. It has never been more obvious than it is right now. So then, unfortunately, started to copy me. She cut and dyed her hair the same way as mine. We literally had some of the same clothes as she bought things to match. She joined me and Mimic in our Japanese lessons. We'd been doing this for almost 3 years by then. Unfortunately, sat between me and Mimic during the lessons and always just accidentally answered all of the teacher's questions towards me for me. All of them. But totally on accident, you know. She's just trying to prove something. If you know that you know the answer, then I don't know, man. I guess let it slide. But I could see how it is more than just a little bit annoying. If Mimic had done that, okay, understandable. We have the same first name, but Nookie? She never did that mistake with Mimic or with anyone else in the class. But again, these were all accidents, or her just trying to be helpful. Oh yeah, super helpful. Thanks so much. I've been in this class 3 years longer than you have. This new pet project of yours. But I'm the one that needs help, right? Oh, God. Still not as hard to stomach as the whole inheritance thing, but quite annoying, yes. I drew a sad picture because, well, my head was in a very dark place back then. Unfortunately, and Naruto headband guilted me again about not talking to them about how bad I must have felt in order to draw something like that. And I downplayed it that, yeah, I had a bad moment, but the act of drawing that made me feel better, which was true. But all they took away from that is that despite me being terrible for guilting them with my art, was that it was over now, so they don't need to spare me a second thought. Oh yeah, problem solved. If it's not gonna be about me, then I'm moving on. Would we really expect anything different from these two, given all the time we've spent with them begrudgingly, given all the things that we have learned? Yes, this is exactly what I would expect to happen. Nookie did marvel at how many people commented and encouraged me to feel better when I posted it. I felt kind of embarrassed, but I agreed that the response had been surprisingly big. Honestly, it felt kinda awkward to be noticed only when I'm expressing suffering, but it was still more recognition and empathy than what I got in real life at home from the Beards. Yeah, life is kind of funny that way, isn't it? People identify with suffering. They see it, they go, hey, I felt that before. Whereas if you draw a happy picture, people are like, well, that's nice, but it doesn't connect with them on a deeper level like something more emotional might. Everybody loves a suffering artist. Hopefully it's not all that you did, you know. It's just a phase, like Picasso's blue era or something like that. And then you move on to something better when you're ready. Honestly, I think that any sort of attention would be better than the negative attention that you get from the beards at home. So, yeah, give me 5 likes on Twitter. I'm good, bro. I feel great about that one. A few days later, Unfortunate Nookie posted a picture that was eerily similar to what I had drawn, both in theme and in tone. And it was outside of what she usually drew as well. Yeah, she's chasing that clout for sure. Why does she want to be OP at this point? Live in my house? Eat my food? Wear my clothes? Draw what I draw? Like, this is getting really eerie. And hopefully at a certain point, OP has just had enough and explodes. That's what I'm waiting for. Unfortunate Nookie.
I kinda didn't show that one picture earlier on purpose, but I knew you'd notice it eventually. I drew it 2 weeks ago, when I was still feeling a lot worse.
OP? Huh. I caught a glimpse earlier today when you came to scan it, and again later when you were just browsing stuff, but I figured if you wanted to talk about it, then you would. Some nice subtle manipulation there, isn't it? Yeah. I drew this one 2 weeks ago, so actually it's you that's copying me, if you think about it, even though you never saw this picture because it didn't exist 2 weeks ago. What the hell? The only problem was, I later mentioned this picture to Mimic since I was worried about how Unfortunate Nookie was doing, who looked at me flabbergasted when I relayed that Unfortunate Nookie said that she made it some weeks ago. Mimic. No, she didn't. Last Japanese lesson when you weren't there, she started drawing that from scratch. I saw her start on a blank page and finish it during the lesson. And that was 2 days after you posted yours. Yeah, we could figure that one out. I'll say that the Unfortunate Nookie saga is long and painful, but I feel like I know these beards inside and out. I hate them through and through, but I know what all of their next moves are going to be or what sort of manipulation they're up to just because of how long we've spent with them. And it is truly a testament that Greenie's able to convey it through her writing. Now, Mimic is dysfunctional and has her flaws, but one quality that she has is an annoyingly accurate memory. If she recalls something being a certain way, you could bet your damn belly button that it was exactly like that. This feature has been both a blessing and a curse. God, I kind of wish I had that power. Sometimes I can't even remember what I read at the beginning of a story. My memory retention is just shot. I think I was smoking the devil's lettuce for a few too many years. When I confronted Unfortunate Nookie about all this, asking her why would she lie about it, she had choice words to say. She humbly apologized and admitted that I had inspired. Nah, that's not what she did. We know better than that by now. Unfortunate Nookie.
Like anyone would want to rip off your shitty art. Mimic is an idiot and a liar and doesn't know what she's talking about. I was drawing something entirely different in class. Besides, they aren't even that similar. You can't hog the rights to a super generic pose and concept. Ugh, grow up, OP.
Okay, but really? No, you. Why is it so hard to just admit, yeah, I saw yours. I liked what you did. I wanted to try my take on it. Like, would that cause you to melt? I don't understand at all. It is exactly the move I would expect, but I still, I don't get it. I don't know how many times I can say that. Put your ego aside. It is so easy. It surprised me that I could still be surprised by the lack of giving a damn from her, but yeah, She had a point about the pose and the concept for sure, and if she hadn't lied about it, I wouldn't care to this day. But she did lie about it, which I take as confirmation that I hurt her ego by pointing out the tables had turned. Instead of me openly admiring her and saying her art had inspired me, she denied ever copying me and put me down in the process. It's a classic Nookie move, eh? Her assimilation of OP will soon be complete. And yeah, that goal is proven further because even outside streams and Japanese lessons, Nookie started answering for me. She'd come to the restaurant I worked at and eat a free lunch.
Get away from my food!
And answer the chefs or the customers for me if they ask questions. What the hell's going on, dude? When my grandfather stopped by to ask me how I'm doing and actually paid for a lunch there, she answered for me. I mean, incorrectly, but who cares, right? And then started to prattle to my grandfather who barely knew her about her own things. He gave me a confused look and I was just so tired. So I said nothing. I did nothing. I allowed it to happen, and she seemed to enjoy her time in the spotlight. And she didn't bother me if I just let her do it. Okay, but think of your grandfather. I would get in there just to save my grandparents from this creature. Next thing you know, Nookie's gonna show up at their house and be like, "It's me, your granddaughter, remember?" She's trying to take over. You can't let it happen. She was in my home, in my lessons, talking for me all the time, slowly changing the narrative of who I am into a monster that I didn't even recognize, weaving it into a truth. She was seemingly trying to look like me. She was drawing in my streams. She even got commissions from some of my regulars. She was talking me down to my online friends and talking to my online friends more actively than I was since, you know, I still had to go to work and couldn't be plugged in 24/7 like she was. Yeah, that's the benefits of being a leech, I guess. I felt like she was erasing me and taking over my life. Like I wasn't even needed in my own life. And she seemed so happy. Happier than I'd seen her in a long time. I actually got her to stay on her medication while she lived with me, which we argued about constantly, where I told her she's more stable and peaceful, and she'd deny noticing any difference in her crappy mood other than feeling more fat. But I figured, okay, sure. I'm such a piece of crap and everything I do is always wrong, so if her living my life makes her happy, that would be one good thing that I did in my life before it ends, right? Right? No, she's only happy in your skin because it's the life that you lived. You built this. You can't simply back off just because somebody else steps up and says, I want that. Hey, that whole thing that you built, give it to me. No, definitely not. Never in life. You take it from my cold, dead hands. The next part, I do confront her about copying me and how her competitiveness is just wearing me down. She comes to and ruins the last party that I ever invited her to, inclusive of unnecessary panty flashing and weird fishing for attention. Stay tuned. The end is nigh. And it has been a friggin' ride, bro. I'm gonna tell you that much. Anyways, remember, laughter is the music of the soul. If you can laugh at it, you can get over it. Also aim to shower daily because it's good for you. Greenie, out. So the inheritance thing was really irking me. I'm like, how dare she try and gobble up your nest egg like some mad greedy chicken? But then the fact that she's just trying to, like, you know, the inheritance scheme fails, so she just decides to take over your life. Like some sort of horrible skinwalker, like a doppelganger legbeard from the depths, the likes of which we've never seen before. Like, it is so difficult to imagine, and I wouldn't have believed it if I wasn't reading about it right here, if I hadn't invested so much time into it. because we've seen it a minimum of like 4 or 5 times throughout the story. Nookie changes depending on who she's around. Well, now she's around OP. I guess that means change into OP. And then maybe walk into the bank and try and pull out some of that inheritance. Is that the game plan at the end of all this? Or the inheritance not even ping on the radar anymore? She's just doing this for fun? Oh man, it's a lot to unpack, honestly. But I'm having a grand time with it, as always. Whew, I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. I'm gonna try and get more regularly into the Nookie stuff. See if we can finish it off within the next couple of months, you know. 1 a week, then we put it to bed in like April, I guess. That will work well for me. But yeah, I hope you guys like, comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy the episode, of course. Maybe share it around if you should like. If people are into skinwalkers or something, then here's a Legbeard skinwalker. The likes of which you've never seen before. It is fascinating, honestly. I also got a bunch of links down in the description, playlists, plugs, you know, podcasts, Spotify, iTunes. We're basically everywhere that you can find podcasts. You can find some ReddX videos for your convenience on the go. It's super cool. We've also got social medias, of course, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Hooray! We've got my Patreon as well. Gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous people that they are. And I would like to thank them, Jerry much. So thank you. Robert Waits, Camille, Sarah, Jarhead, Jerry, Oorah, Logan Wolf, Conrad Ingy. Hey, Mr. ReddX, sir, did you forget to put my ReddX Industries Spicy Flu Fun Bugs redeemable for 30% of value in per... It gets cut off at the end, I don't know what it says. Oh well, Captain Cloud, Jerry, Hong Kong, Aaron W, Twisted Child, Sarah Wano Ash, Cinnamon Susie, Frog Lang Sign, Fire Drake, Giggle Jerry, Irari, Ginnixa, Yearage, Different Kiss Nom, at... Maybe I got that. Jari, the Pirate, Silent Revolver, the original Jerry, Jerry's Kitsune, Satori, 211 Jerry, The Return of Jerry, a Jerry of Jubilant Juggly Jerry's, a Justy Draconian Jerry, I got it this time, Aludia Diwadista, Althea Blue, Anunnaki, Arthur Henry, also known as Metal Fector, in the comments. We got Assassin Pug Jerry, Bang Bang, Atheist Jerry, he's so euphoric, Aurora Wildheart, Grizzly, Bailey Joy, Bearded Jerry, watch out for that guy, Mitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Blameless Fish, Blip Blip Jerry, Blue Dubs, Commander J Tank, Dayton doesn't? How dare you? Dennis Dayton, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Dr. Larks, welcome to the fold. Emergent Jewel, Aaron Lennox, Frozen Over Studio, Gypsy, Hadrian BR, have a minty new year, Jerry's. I'm Slim Jerry, yes, I'm the real Jerry, all you other Slim Jerry's are just imitating. Irish Pirate, top of the marn into ya. Itchy Nuts, just scratching, bro. A pimp named J. Crisp, yes, you have to say the whole thing. J.M. Coon, Jennifer Schaefer, Jerry Smith's Barbatus Services. Yeah, I don't know what that means, really. Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Nice, Jerry Evil, Jerry the Small Jerry than the other Jerry's, Jerry the Outlaw Mother Trucker, honk honk. Jerry's a race car driver, but a racer in the blue today, 7 Super and a blue head gasket. Oh, look at that animated GIF profile picture. I didn't know we could do that. That's awesome. John Hero, John Jerry, Jingleheimer Schmidt, Simbufa, Judge Jerry, I am the beard. KJW, Kajow, Crewhee, Miss Monday, Lord Jerryo, leader of the Thunder Jerry's, Milady Dex, still a Jerry, just a boring one. Marble Cake Jerry, Jack and Rule, Melgar the Destroyer, Mr. J, not a fan of Trigger Happy mods. It happens from time to time, the rules are easy enough to follow. Mr. Carrot 797, Mikola Demikiev, Natari, Needless King, he don't need nothing. Nightmare Jerry, Origami Jerry Steve, Patron Say the Chicken Nugget Saint Jerry, Phantom of the Pines, Jerrykins and Jerry Beth, Ramtide Lacrimates, Rose Jerry Miller, TSM Kirby, Sarita the Lolita, Sassy Octopus, Silo Imp, Staples, aka Jerry Yeet, Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Teddy the Police, 10-Ton Monster, the Token Trans Queen Jerry, funny name pending. Yeah, we'll workshop it. The one true Fusky. He loves that voice. Tom, what is the Jerry on the inside that counts? Viking Jerry, Will Mags, Comrade Mooney, Kira, you're a wizard Jerry, Redwing, Deuces Honk, Jerry, Atrick, Naga Viper, Side Jerry the Cyborg, Saints Blessing, a normal Jerry, a Blueberry's a strong contender, but nip some in the bud, Dingleberries don't count because they're not real berries. A fine point. Hunter of Jerry's devourer of all things tasty. It is Tom, Admiral T-Tank, Amara, an unfortunate Nookie survivor. Atomic Jerryzilla, AZ, Babsy Coon, Banished Knight, Barbush because Radiated Jam, Bartender Kirlia, welcome to the fold, Broken Spine Horseradish, by the power of onion smell, Baybeard, I have the fedora. It's a He-Man reference. Cake Jerry, that's the original different Jerry. California Jerry Girl, hooray! Chevron 7 locked. Corporal Admiral, Lieutenant Private General, Tigerian Princess for Woo Jerry. Got it, it's a science. Cryptides, Cuban Jerry. Devon Jerry, Dopamine Dangerous. Electrical Fennec, Ghost of Alpha, Heeknot. HMT Mayor, Holy Berry Jerry. Hydra Jerry Solomon. Hey, Scarl Solomon lives on. Jeffrey, Jer Alt of Rivia. Jerry and Tom versus Happy New Year's Webby Apocalypse. Jerry and the Sussy Baka. Jerry's mom has got it going on. Jerry Aldo Rivera. You check out that mustache. Jerry Bean, yum. Jerry Rock says, yay. Jerry's STI still tracing a trans van that was rumored to contain a shipment of baubles. We gonna get him yet? Jerry role-playing game, Judge Jerry and Executioner, Kid Marvelous, Killing Owl, King Tom, Kitsykin Life of Guardian Lil Woods, Lucia Lovecraft, Chia, CD. Maybe next time. Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Not Invisible Angel, I see you. One Leg Jerry found a key and some pancakes. Now with Sue and IHOP. Organic Cam, Ghosty, Raptor Art, she's my Jerry Pie, go drink a Mandu on a bad surprise. Sheep Steve, Snary, that Snom Jerry, Spoony the Rogue, Spooky, Scary Jerry Tons is relevant all year round. My voice is cracking. Oh no, Steampunk Ellie, Techno Dubs, the Gaslighting Jerry. Why do you keep calling me Terry? I'm losing my mind. The Necro Jerry Con, the original Jerry, not to Infinite Jerry and beyond. Definitely. Tuna Fish Jerry managed to escape from Admiral Tom's Tuna Cannery. The next challenge, exfiltrating Neckbeard Row. Tom promised Jerry swears, oh, no bad Jerry, Tom be good boy. But those swears just fake. So he decides to go look it up by it. I mean, another ReddX video. Thanks so much. And also thank you to my $1 patrons. Beautiful people that they are. Thank you guys so much for supporting on the Patreon. Absolutely killing it. The end of the month is here. Oh, we taking those last minute donations though. As usual, if you want to jump in here, it's not too late. Hey, tomorrow it'll be too late, but today it's not too late. So I would thank you if you would jump in on it. But I mean, if you can't afford to do it, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos. We got a lot. It's 21 other parts of the Unfortunate saga. Did you watch all them recently? Huh? No pressure though. And of course, I always want you to remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, friends, bye-bye.